Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. I need advice / is this relationship not good for me? Hello. Towards the end of last year I was cheated on. It's kind of a confusing situation, but basically I was talking to my now boyfriend around mid-March last year. He's on the East Coast while I'm over here on the West, and we found each other through Instagram and have known each other for around 3 years, Instagram mutual, and it wasn't until March of 2021 that he decided to hit me up and we began to talk. Things moved rather quickly and I realized we had a really strong connection. We were never official, but we acted like a couple. We talked on the phone every day, called each other babe, regular things long distance couples would do. In May he got into a car accident and that made me realize how important he was to me. And despite not being official, I told him I loved him and he said the same. He had a friend that he was always with and I had suspected something weird and would company front him about it, but he always had an excuse. It wasn't until October that she messaged me and told me they had been having sex every weekend since April. Again. We weren't exclusive, but he wouldn't constant state that we were basically exclusive. He never said it, but he would say things like "you're mine, I'll fight any guy who even tried to talk to you, blah blah blah." I quickly broke it off because since the beginning of this situationship I made it very clear that cheating is an absolute no for me, especially if it was sexual. After a week or so of going back and forth and talking to him about the situation, he promised to show me he was going to change, and he gave me the passwords to his socials and even sent me a screen recording of his messages between the girl he was cheating on me with. I asked for them, of course. It's been an extremely rocky road on my end, and despite trying to move on I find myself crying myself to sleep at night. I'm riddled with anxiety. Until this day I still can't trust him. You might ask why I'm still with him if cheating was a serious no for me, and it's because I've never met anyone like him. He's the first person I've met who genuinely cares about my well-being. We have so much in common, he gives me reassurance when I need it, he doesn't make fun of my interests, and he genuinely loves me. I can feel it. My dear friend showed me this sub because I had another anxious episode last night. She believes this relationship isn't good for me, and I guess I just wanted to ask those who have genuinely experienced what I have. I only have one friend who was heated up emotionally, and she told me it's my relationship and only I know the complexity of it, and she can never judge me for my decision, but if I want to continue with it she doesn't blame me. I should note that we have met. He bought me a ticket to go see him over the holidays and it was the best week of my life. I felt so at home and comfortable, but even that wasn't enough. While he was sleeping I went through his phone seeing if I'd catch something. I didn't, but this is becoming an issue. I told him the night that I found out that I came to him with broken pieces and he crushed those pieces even more to the point where I don't think I can be fixed. All the confidence I had, which wasn't much because I do struggle with my self-esteem, is out the door. I don't feel worthy. I'm trying to work on myself and work on trusting him again, but it's just so hard. I know I'll always have this in the back of my head, but does it get easier? Is this even good for me? I've seen genuine change in him. I hate feeling like this. Here are some of the best comments from our community. If you feel you love him, you can forgive him and let it go, but it wouldn't be easy. Recovering from infidelity is difficult. Recovering in a long-distance relationship is damn near impossible. Your friend is right. Someone who genuinely cares about you doesn't leave you with lifelong trauma. Just because he sucks less than prior men in your life doesn't mean he still doesn't suck. Maybe he is faithful now. But he built a foundation on a bed of mistrust and lies. That can never be undone. Your friend is right. You can't succeed in this relationship due to poor foundation and unfortunate circumstances. He cheats, you cheat. This marriage is garbage. Throw it in the dumpster where it belongs, seriously. Another cheating story. New GF, 29F, almost went on trip with another guy. I've, 29 meters, been dating a woman, 29F, for 2 months and things were going pretty well. I like her and I feel like I trust her. I think our values are aligned and I can see myself marrying her someday. A month into our relationship, she told me that she had a 7-day trip plan that involved outdoorsy things, hiking, with her friend. She didn't make it clear that her friend was male, so I didn't think too much of it. Fast forward a month, we're hanging out the night before her trip starts and it comes out that her friend is a guy. Apparently, he's one of her first friends from uni. He had asked her out a long time ago, but she turned him down and isn't attracted to him, so it's platonic, at least from her side. I was cool about it initially because we're still early in our relationship, told her that I trust her and that I'm okay with her going, but that she needs to communicate these things better in the future. After our talk, she had some anxiety over it, but I reassured her that I trusted her and that I was cool with her going on the trip. She ended up taking the train down and then coming back the following day after talking to her guy friend. They both realized that it would be weird to go on the trip if she was dating me. I definitely appreciate that she canceled the trip, but now that I've had a few days to think about it, I'm wondering what I should do. Knowing her, it was probably more naivete than dishonesty, but I can't help but trust her less, even though she came back. I feel like I was a little too cool about it because I didn't want to come across as the controlling type. Was I too trusting in this situation? Should I have had a bigger reaction and asked her not to go? Where do we go from here? I'm seeing her tomorrow night. Things that bothered me. She didn't make it clear it was a guy in the first place. She didn't invite me. Well, she did, but it was right after I found out it was a guy friend, i.e. the night before. She knew there was something wrong with it, at least subconsciously. She looked a little guilty when telling me about the accommodations, mostly staying separate rooms, but one place was in the same room. When asking her more details about the trip, i.e. history with her friend, accommodations, etc., I felt like I had to pry the answers out of her like an investigator. It wasn't volunteered. What if I didn't find out it was a guy at all? It kinda came out by chance. Here are some of the best comments from our community. The most concerning aspect for me is that you found out by chance. The rest of it seems like either a great cover story or a genuine reaction to your discomfort and reevaluation. Your initial reaction seems very healthy and mature. I don't think you should have thrown up a fuss. If you felt it was a deal breaker at the time, you'd have been well within your rights to express that and follow through. However, if you weren't sure how you felt about it, seeing how it would play out without strong reaction was your best choice emo. I'm also not sure how they decided it would be awkward once you were fully informed. Unless the guy didn't know she was dating and was planning to try and use this trip to shoot his shot again. My advice would be zoom in on why you only found out by chance that this friend is a guy and why you finding out seems to be the trigger for the trip not happening. Those two things independently could potentially be innocent. When combined they become more damaging toward trust, emo. So my advice would be talk about it calmly. If conversations make you feel better about her character and trustworthiness, you might be able to work past this. It is still very new obviously, so if talks about it seem shady or descend into arguments, might be a good place to call it. Oh come on. You'd only been dating a month. In a lot of people's eyes that's not long enough to be exclusive. She told the guy she wasn't going. She has done all she can. Please don't turn into one of those controlling cunts who won't let their partner have friends of the opposite sex. Let this go or you will lose her by your attitude. It's obvious she's testing the waters to see how far she can go without you noticing. It's good that you talked to her about it and that she got the hint. Because if you just stayed quiet, I'm sure there will be some romantic development in the middle of that trip. I'm happy she got the hint that it will jeopardize your trust in her if she ended up going to that trip. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.